And we should be live. I will go ahead and check soon. Let me just get the notification out to people on Discord here real quick. Oh boy, what a lovely day we've got ahead of us, it seems, eh?
If you want to call it that,
Alright, let me go ahead and now check to make sure that we are live.
I think we are.
I think we are as well, but yes, we are in fact live. Awesome. Alright, hello everyone, Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. I am joined today with returning guest Orososium.
Hello, everyone. Today is Spain.
Yes, it is. Because we are going to be covering The High Republic Adventures by Daniel Jose Older yet again.
Because that man still works for some reason.
And on that subject, I found out there's yet another comic book another issue I'm going to have to cover. And that is a one-off comic book thing written by Daniel Jose Older as well. This thing. Which, by the way, for those who can actually tell here, also featuring Avatar The Last Airbender, because they had to throw in Avatar The Last Airbender into this mess as well.
I don't know if it is going to be worse, but the comparison is there, of mixing The Lord of the Rings and Magic the Gathering.
Also, is it just me, or looking at this image, what's wrong with this girl's eyes? Do you see how they're just pointed in different directions?
Yes, yes, I do. I mean, it is far from the worst, but it is the cover.
Yeah, it's the cover. And we get to see what Daniel Jose Older makes for free.
Look,
when he doesn't actually have to try.
Look, if he's making shit, when you pay him millions, or however much the man gets per episode, how bad is it going to be when you don't pay him?
I don't want to know, although I'm probably going to have to check next week.
You know, you can skip some of these.
I know, but I want to have the full. I want to be able to actually say, whenever I get one of the defenders of the High Republic, they do come on and say, but you never even read the books. Here's my playlist of me reading the books.
I know. We have said this more than once in the streams. The point is, you have read most of these comics, and most of the comics written by this guy. You can save yourself some years, you know.
At this point, I need to see how bad this gets, I guess. It's kind of like that one bit from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where Jotaro is just writing a little receipt of every single thing that one dude did to piss him off.
Look, if you were a dwarf, you will have a heck of a book of glitches.
Yes, I would.
Well, other than this new abomination that is going to come, shall we start the pain?
Yes, we shall. Already the front cover is... Well, the front cover isn't the worst I've seen, but there's already some characters with some really fun... with doing some weird facial expressions. Like Voldemort in the back there.
Ironically, I think he's the only one that is doing something weird. Because the freaking monkey is crazy. And, well, the leader is special. Let's leave it at that. I am just trying to give these people credit whatever credit they are owed, which
Mhm.
is not money, you know.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and check how this goes. Chaos reigns with the dank Grax. Written by Daniel Jose Older, like the cursed mark of Satan that is. And let's go ahead and get into it.
We haven't begun, but I need to make a pause.
Okay.
And it is not because I have to go anywhere. No, it is because I have looked at the first page, at the second panel.
Yep.
What is this?
Yep.
I mean, the art seems to come back to the usual consistency after that. Why is it so ugly?
I know, it's just. To be fair, right? At least this is still slightly better than the norm for the old High Republic Adventures comic.
I know.
This
But
is
it
better than that, but it's still pretty bad. Anyways,
well, this is a perfect beginning.
yeah. Undercover. I finally met with my hero, Maz Kanata, and now she's been kidnapped by the dank Grax, no less. Who do you want a voice of these characters, out of curiosity?
Would you fault me if I say no one, but being serious, I don't know which ones did you usually voice.
You know, I kind of forget the pain. I guess perhaps we can chalk it up to being a repressed memory as to who I was voicing.
I can voice the crazy and whoever else you want me to voice.
All right, I guess I can.
So, who do you not want?
Well, how about I voice the Genoshan and also the tall dude? He doesn't have any lines right now, but when he does later on.
Fine by me. Grand Arctic? There's a fighter coming fast. Looks like one of those eviscerator ships.
Probably that twerp who claims he works for the Grafs. What was his name? Translated from Geonosian.
Basri Pratt. And I am not sure he was blow up, kaboom!
This writing already. Actually, Alright, so would the bad guys really be correcting each other if they dared misgender a person? I do have to ask. I mean, they are the bad guys after all.
But this brings it up a funny question. Do the good guys not give a shit, but the bad guys do?
Funny how that works, huh? Oh well. They do not know who I am, what I am.
They are hailing us on the comms.
Put it through. And that's how it's gonna stay. Sometimes the only way to beat him. This is Bazrip Ratat, and I'm here to become a dank Grak. Is to join them. Okay, seriously, would they really just accept someone like this? Is this really a...
No, this guy. This cannot work.
Please tell me that she gets blasted out of the sky. I don't think that's going to happen, but...
I know who is writing this, but come on. This cannot be... This
How
cannot work.
convenient! How convenient. The next page, they have to remind everyone who these characters are. Because the writer realizes that there's a good chance that you might not have remembered because the writing's that awful and the characters are that forgettable.
Wait. Have the names haven't appeared in every comic? I don't remember now.
Let me check last issue, because I don't think they were appearing in the last issue.
If they put the names...
Yeah, they're not showing up in the last issue.
Then why now?
I don't know.
Okay, no more questions. Let's be done with this.
Dubious, it seems.
Oh, come on. We could use a new member. Especially with everything going on.
Dern. Lavalox.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, he might be testy. So...
You all know I can hear you, right? And what makes you think you can join my elite band of 4 sorcerers, boy? Speak up. Well, for starters, we both know what my ship can do to your ship if I don't get my way. I have several questions. First of all, okay, if her plan is to just get Maz Kanata back, why doesn't she just say, hand her back or I'll blow up your ship?
Because that will make sense.
I mean, granted, if they don't give her back and she blows up the ship, Maz kind of dies, but these guys are mercenary. These guys are pirates and are very mercenary in that sense. So why would they risk it?
I mean, on one hand, it is very likely that they will do so. Mostly because, if nothing else, they get a chance to fire on a single person instead of a ship during the exchange. On another hand, if they think this kid is going to do as she says, they get the ship out of their hair and also lose some problematic cargo. So, at least I think it will make more sense to ask instead of, saying you are going to blow them up. But I don't know. This kid and every character in this comic is not doing sensible things, let's say.
On that subject, is it just me, or... Look at the, is it just me, or are the weapons on the ship also, very poorly aligned?
No, it is not you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to guess, and I am not exactly a ship designer, if you fire every one of these guns at once, considering blasters do have recoil, you might rip something apart.
Also, they're not even all pointing the same direction. That's the other thing.
Well, at this point, I don't expect much better.
Yeah, but straight lines. There's just too much of a challenge for the artist, apparently.
I don't want to bring this up, but remember, we have solar sails on a galleon in space.
Yeah, that's true. Although, Was that made by the same artist?
I don't know.
Well, wait a second. I think we had solar sails in this one too, now that you mention it. So, point retracted.
This is hurting more and more.
I knew you'd see things my way. Now, just a minute, young fellow. Surely you don't think you can just threaten the old master of the Grax and then get whatever you want? Yeah? Wrong, knave. First you must pass the trial of the Grax.
99% sure you just made that up.
Why? Why? Seriously, why?
I don't know. Do you have any possible explanation?
No, I don't. This person threatens you, so you give them a trial to see if they join. Rather than, since you have them outnumbered, try to gang up on them, or... And why would you make up the trial right now, of all things?
Because they wanted... how many pages are these? I don't know. I don't care about the name.
And we're on 5.
Ace, you are making me want to leave.
You're not the only one.
But do we know why? They just want to fill this with some shit.
By all means, trial away. Part the first of the trial of the Grax, a test of knowledge and personal history.
This is not a real thing.
You know, I presume, that dank Grax were each part of a force called before coming to me. Which one were you part of, Rateth? And part 2, why are you no longer with them? This one is easy, actually. The only class I paid attention in was when Master Terra Snoopy visited to lecture on force cults around the galaxy. I did my presentation on the Central Isopter. Unlike most of the other Jedi I had met, Terra Snoopy didn't act like rules and protocols were what made the galaxy so go round. He could make any subject feel alive, and that made me want to learn about it too. I would have given my left arm for him to have been my master instead of ornery old toe-shaped cocktrough. We love death and destruction, travel the galaxy seeking it out. But they didn't have much of a sense of humor, sadly, so I had to fly.
What?
Interesting, if unlikely. Very well.
You travel the galaxy seeking not death and destruction? Incredible. Damn. Jam. Why does this character exist? Just to throw some shit together and see if it sticks?
Probably. But part 2 of the trial of the Grax is to test whether or not you're an adequate force user. And that... oh my.
Whee!
Huh? Okay, someone picked you up with the force. Would your response really be an excited wee?
No.
Wouter
if you-
Smith says, "Hi, who wrote this?" I will answer that question very well. I'll answer it right now. Daniel Jose Older wrote this.
The same crazy as always.
This guy is not good as a writer. We will put it that way. He makes Cavan Scott look like William Shakespeare.
And I never thought someone will say that.
But am I wrong?
The sad part is that you are right. At the very least, you could follow those stories. Not exactly well, but man, I mean, this goes to the question you made. Will you say, wee? No. In fact, this chick seems to be the only one that has at least half a brain cell in this group. The monkey? No. He's in character. The chick should have shot the kid. I mean, I don't know if she can, but she will not have said, wee.
No, she wouldn't.
Sorry for the rant.
Fine. I believe you'll live to regret having passed the first 2 tests. But not for very long. The final test of the trial of the Grax is combat. And we get a collage of her destroying a bunch of droids who aren't even shown shooting at her.
Nope.
Are these droids even armed? No! Wait, no, they are armed. You can see a little blaster right here in one of their hands.
Yeah, but I don't know how I do it, but I still remember the first time these droids appeared, and they weren't exactly good quality then. So I am not surprised they don't do anything. I mean, if you want to do a trial of combat, at least use something that can kill a Jedi. Just say it.
Yeah. Yokai says, the worst writer I have ever seen, and is a lot considering the author of Boruto exists. Did I pass?
Let's rock instead of the ancient the peace. That was beyond. Asami!
Good thing we have more of those, otherwise I'd be quite put out. One question, though. I was ready for this one. Where did you acquire a lightsaber? And even though it's a lie... funny story, actually. I murdered a Jedi for it.
Go fuck yourself!
It still hurts to say the words. Yeah, but not for you.
It hurts to read.
Daniel Jose Older, ladies and gentlemen. An author with such bad writing, he can legitimately say call an ambulance, but not for me, because of his god-awful writing.
Throwing shit that this guy is the most fun we have with this comic.
Yeah.
Look. Let's give this kid some credit, considering that she might be able to bluff her way into all of this, okay? Because these people apparently are retarded.
I would like to point out something real quick. The previous issue established just how piss poor of a liar she was.
That is true.
So her trying to bluff her way out now, amongst a bunch of cutthroats who have to spend their lives telling if someone can lie, is lying to them or not, is kind of bullshit.
This whole comic is bullshit.
It's especially painful when you realize that these guys, at least some of them, have to be somewhat attuned to the Force because the ship that they're using requires some of the crew to be attuned to the Force.
Yes, which also brings out this point she just made that she killed a Jedi for it. How? Ask how. It is that easy. If they don't ask how, I am out.
Terra Snoop was his name. His name was. She actually also picked a Jedi that is still alive, and there is always the chance they might know this Jedi is still alive. It's not a big chance, but it's still a chance. Why not pick a Jedi that might have died a few years back? It's not like it's entirely unheard of, to be fair.
I mean, any real name could give this up. But yes, at least pick someone that is dead. Look, at least it checks out. She is shit at bullshitting people.
Mm.
Oh! They do know him.
Awesome!
Let's see what happens. I know him. Consider like me.
That's the guy.
One question. What did he taste like?
A bit bland, actually. So,
Why?
We have it established now that these pirates, at least some of them, are also cannibals. I mean, even within their own species, to be specific, perfectly clear. So, I'm pretty sure cannibalism is at least somewhat frowned upon in Star Wars. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm kind of sure that, at least to some degree.
I think some species did practice it more or less openly. But yes, the vast majority thought of it as, wrong to eat anything that was sentient.
Mm. All right. Sorry.
I just wanted to say, why is she still answering? Every answer she gives makes this worse.
Yes. Yes, it does. You could have said, I didn't eat him, and that would have been fine.
In fact, it would be better.
Yes, it would.
I just read ahead. I think they just don't care for the personality of these characters from page to page.
I don't think they do. You're right. Alright, I've heard enough, and it's very likely you're lying, but even if you are, well, you've passed all the trials. I have no choice to make you, but to make you a provisional member of the Dank Grax. Why? You made the trials up. Why do you not have a choice if you think the person is lying?
This is the biggest bullshit this man has written. Wait. I am not going to go that far. But holy shit.
It's like the more I read, the worse and worse it gets. Yokai says, no, cannibalism is okay in Star Wars unless you're a certain species like humans. Okay, alright. Fair enough. It depends, I guess. Some species are okay with it and some aren't, I think that is reasonable, yeah. But still, why is Daniel Jose Older doing this?
Because doing something right requires effort.
It requires more than just effort, too, and Daniel Wholesaler doesn't have that either, clearly.
Well, let's continue because I want this
Yes.
done for.
Adam says, well, the Ewoks ate the Imperial soldiers after the battle. Do we talk about that, though?
No, because the Ewoks are such, they are just past the tribal stage. I don't think anyone is going to care too much.
Mm.
This hurts so much.
Emphasis on professional. We'll see how you do on Jeddah. Saya, you may get him situated.
Woohoo! Come on, Pacey.
Jeddah? Yes, we're going to Space Jerusalem. As written by Daniel Jose Older. Oh, no.
Why so much focus on that damn planet?
I don't know.
Well, come on, we are past halfway.
Yes, we are.
The whole thing devoted is powered by the dark side of the Force, supposedly. I haven't totally figured out the mechanics yet, but I am working on it.
Okay, supposedly, if you're Force sensitive, you would kind of be able to sense the dark side of the Force emanating from the ship.
Yes.
She should be able to feel it as well.
I mean, if you are at least somewhat normal of a Jedi, if you are in a place with a lot of, the dark side, it should make you feel wrong, if nothing else.
Agreed. Yokai says, but for the Ewoks, eating humans is not cannibalism. Technically, you are correct.
And that is the better type of correct.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, this is excellent work. Nice. Very motif. Hey, Saya, what are we doing on Jeddah?
Supposed to be starting a war or something. I don't know. Practices are tangled up with some weird cult guys, and they got us in a few other groups causing as much trouble as possible. Anyway, come on. I'll show you the mess up.
Starting a war on Jeddah? The place with all the religious fanatics that hate each other?
So the easiest work in the world?
Yeah. Saya, wait. Where's the, little Grax room?
Seriously?
Yeah, really? That's... Oh, the pain is continuing.
It never stops.
Also, toilet paper in Star Wars? Fucking seriously? That's a toilet paper holder there.
Yes. Also, a bigger crime. There is no toilet paper.
Yeah, that too.
But seriously, did you have to draw this?
The Venom Scabbard, come in. Come in, crew. Hello? Shh. Ferric, if you can hear me, this is Sav Maligan on board the Grim Devourer. Haven't found Maz yet, but the Grax are heading to Jeddah to start a war.
Welcome to Gary. This is where I do all the cooking.
Wait, you do all the cooking yourself? Well, why wouldn't you have a dedicated cook if there's one that's really good at it?
Yes, besides, other than her bipolar disorder, I suppose, she seems to be the most stable of the map.
Uh,
And that is not saying much apparently.
Speaking of stable, let's continue, shall we?
Yes. Trust me. If you tasted the others' attempts, you'd understand. Hey! Vámonos!
Up you go. So wait, he used the force to take the seat out from under her.
Yes.
To be fair, it's a crazy character, so it's not entirely out of character.
It is. You know, it is sad
But it
to
is
admit
still
that
cringe.
yes. It is sad to admit that the crazy character is the only one that is written well because, well,
Well, with quotations.
it is very hard to fuck up.
Don't worry, Daniel will find a way.
If you tell me by the end of this that he wasn't crazy all along, I am going to kill someone.
Oh, you know that's exactly going to be the plot twist that Daniel gives us. Also, from the chat, Uru says, my hate is growing.
Look, I know everyone knows, but I use for posterity, you know.
Yes.
Ah, thanks.
Wait, is that why you're so excited I'm here, so I can do the chores instead of you?
I mean, I could use a hand. Alex feels that little works super fast these days. What?
But there's characters that you... Okay, litter boxes are now canon in Star Wars, and there are characters that use them.
Look, he's crazy. He can still use the bathroom. I am sure of it.
I am too! Also, gonna point this out too, because being pedantic that I am, but there's no litter box in the bathroom that we see.
I don't want to ask questions, and I don't want you to answer them. Okay?
Okay.
If they show, I promise you, I leave the stream. Just saying. Let's continue. At Roblox fault that for the Sifi?
Okay, wouldn't that cause the exact opposite to happen because he's not eating it as much? I mean, granted, you could take up the argument that the food is giving him the runs, but... I'm not... On the other hand, you could also take up the case that the food might... Well, you've heard about the story about military rations, right?
No, not really, no.
Military rations have a nasty habit of causing constipation.
Oh.
A very
Seriously?
yeah, to the tune that laxatives have been known to be outright required for some people to actually go to the restroom after having to eat rations for a good portion of time. This isn't universal, but it is a lot of but this does happen a lot apparently.
Well, you know, you learn something new every day.
There is actually a tactical reason for it, because if the soldier is extremely plugged, we will say, that means they're not going to be using the restroom as much, which is kind of an advantage in a combat situation.
Yeah, it may also destroy your insides, I suppose.
Yeah, but you can then deal with that. You can deal with that issue a few days after, once you're out of combat.
I suppose.
But yeah, that's the thing. Apparently British rations were really infamous for this, but I know for a fact that even U.S. MREs have a nasty habit of this. I think it's the cheese spread that apparently really causes that issue.
Now I know far more than I ever wanted to learn about military arrangements. Well, at least I am forewarned if I ever have to eat them.
Well, with the British ration, it's the I think they called it the Weetabix crackers that they have. They give them that do that. But with the U.S. rations, it's usually the cheese spread. But anyways, so the cheese spread. The sad thing is the cheese spread is actually kind of delicious. If you ever had that cheese string thing that comes out of a compressed air can,
no, not to my knowledge. No.
Basically the military ration cheese spread is basically that. If you get one of those, you try it on some crackers, you'll actually like that, and that doesn't have the constipation problem the military version does.
Well, other than the topic itself, I might try.
All right, fair enough. Anyways, Yokai says, so basically out of combat diarrhea.
Oh. Yes.
There's plenty of stories also of older rations causing a lot of issues in that regard as well in different ways. There's actually Simple History did a video on some of the worst military rations ever made historically. They missed a few. Admittedly, the so-called Five Fingers of Death are not present, and there's a reason they're called the Five Fingers of Death. Not a very pleasant ration to have. But they did cover the vomlet, so...
Well, the name Five Fingers of Death is not exactly inviting.
It's the nickname. Also, the vomlet is the nickname of the other. The vomlet is... the real name of the vomlet is cheese and veggie omelet, if I remember correctly. And it came out as a military ration in the U.S. During the war in Iraq. I think they phased it out within 5 years or so because it was that god-awful. There's a... It lived up to the nickname of Vomlet. We'll put it that way. Yokai says, I hate those canned cheese. It's basically cheddar with a blend. Okay, fair enough. To each his own, I guess. But yeah, the Vomlet is... Vomlet was so notorious that... well, it's actually... Apparently when people that were had first made the MRAs were told about it, they were actually shocked about it because apparently eggs just aren't very easy to preserve, are basically just impossible to preserve in a military ration, and so the fact they even tried in the first place was considered absolutely horrific. The guy apparently said, we left extensive notes in the 80s why you shouldn't do that.
Well, let's be positive and say that at least they learned something.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and carry on.
Yes, please. No, but seriously, that's not it. It is just that there's no one else my age here, and sometimes I feel like even though this is the only family I ever known, I still don't really fit in. Do you understand what I mean?
I do. I really do. Do you really? I mean, you were a Padawan. You were literally surrounded by people your age that were practically family to you as well.
Yeah, and she abandoned all of them on a whim.
Yeah, that is true. Yokai says, USA military, the world first industrial food tester. Technically, you could take the argument that was the British, but the British had... okay, so the British had some really bad rations as well, now that I think about it. There's one... There's one known as Makinoki stew that was apparently notorious in World War I. It's... the stew, because of life in the trenches, they had to eat this stew a lot of times cold rather than cooked. And apparently it had a very foul odor when you tried to eat it cold, but it was edible when you ate it warm. But they had to eat it cold a lot of the times, and it also had some side effects when you tried consuming it cold as well, of the flatulent variety, we will say.
Oh, so you're telling me that it smelled foul when you ate it cold, and then it smelled worse afterwards.
Yes!
Delightful.
And you had to be around, and if you were in a battalion, and were in close proximity to the rest battalion, you were around 1,000 guys who had just eaten that cold.
This is beans all over again. You know what is the worst part of this conversation?
What?
This is still better than the comic.
Yes! I know! I could tell a better story about military rations than Daniel Jose Older can in a Star Wars comic. It's more interesting, it's got more plot twists.
And at least it is funny.
Yokai says the stew also tasted like jerky when eaten cold. The thing is, I actually kind of like jerky, so that actually makes it not sound quite so bad. Of course, it still beats hardtack, or at least old hardtack, and there's several reasons why that's the case. And well, I probably should avoid talking about that because that is where things get particularly foul.
Then please, don't.
Let's just say that the World Economic Forum would approve of the use of hardtack as a food source.
Well, you put me off that thing forever.
The thing is, if it's actually fresh, it's and not, shall we say, contaminated, then it's actually not bad. It tastes like nice, clean, fresh hardtack just tastes like a breadstick. A plain breadstick is what it is. But it is very, very hard. You actually have to usually smash it up with a mallet or something before you actually eat it. But it's basically a really hard bread that's had all the moisture just cooked out of it. But it is, like I said, there's a reason why. Okay, so some of the nicknames for hardtack include, and I quote, molar breakers, sheet iron. And there's reason for that. One of the things that, aside from breaking it up with mallets and whatnot, usually you'd use a sock or something to put the hardtack in and break it with a mallet. Tehedora says, I shouldn't be regretting eating dinner while watching a Star Wars stream, but I am. Sorry. I'll avoid the worst parts of hardtack, so you don't have to worry about that. But usually I would put the hardtack in a sock and beat it with a mallet or the butt of the rifle or something to make it, to basically turn it in, to make it into a dough again or flour again that you can then turn into a stew. Which is actually pretty good that way. The other thing they used to do is they would dip it in their coffee to soften it up that way and make it actually edible that way.
So you're telling me that basically this bread will stop, I don't know, small arms fire?
You could use it as a weapon in a hand-to-hand fight. It actually has been around. The thing is, actually, now that I think about it, hardtack's been around for a very, very long time. There's cases of the Roman army eating an early form of hardtack, even way back in their day. So, yeah,
early form of hardtack. So something you could at least chew.
Yeah.
All you have told me is that if you eat this and you don't have anything to drink, you are going to lose moisture when you do so.
Maybe a little bit. I've actually had hardtack before, fresh hardtack, mind you. So I don't have. I'm going to avoid the worst parts of it, like I said, but it doesn't make your mouth dry, at least, so there is that, usually. And yes, you can eat hardtack raw, which is without breaking it up. Not really recommended, for obvious reasons, but you can technically do that. Oh yeah, there's actually a video of a guy that did a military there's actually a guy that his channel is exclusively him tasting military rations. And believe it or not, he has actually, for his channel, eaten hardtack. Hardtack that was baked in 1863. And it was still edible. Yes, and it was still edible.
Wow!
As shocking as it may sound, it's not the most extreme. I'd say the most extreme still has to be him actually finding a canned meat ration from the British Army from 1899 that was still edible.
Quotation marks or really edible?
He actually ate it and was fine after eating it. So, actually legitimately edible. Basically, the British, apparently for that was an emergency ration. Like I said, it was in a tin can. The chocolate portion of the ration was no longer good, but the meat ration still was.
You know, I would have expected it to be the opposite even.
Yeah, I know. But, well, here's what the meat ration was. So, you know that, have you ever had those little round tins of beef jerky that are just shredded up and very dry and whatnot?
Yeah, I think once or twice with my friends, yes.
That's basically what it was. That's basically what the meat ration was, and apparently he was able to make a beef porridge out of it by adding water and boiling it.
Well, it is something, if nothing else.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's go ahead and actually continue. Like I said,
yeah.
The military ration stories seem to be more interesting than this.
Yeah, and it seems my sister is threatening me.
Theodora says, I'm going to make you watch a vid later, Horus. That way we'll be even. I can recommend a few. That
Please, no.
Adam says, mash. You guys says, the good old stone bread hardtack. Yeah. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and carry on.
Let's continue. Anyway, I know your secret.
Huh? Kark Star.
Of course. We're not as clever as your Arctic, you know?
But maybe I'm not such a good undercover op after all.
You're not a boy at all, are you?
What? Oh, I mean, is it really a lie if you just let people who go around making assumptions remain in their ignorance?
The cheek of this piece of shit. It's fine. I had my voice anyway.
Oh, the writing!
Don't tell me. She's going to be a mega lesbian too. Or something.
Yokai says, who would know the only good thing on the British ration is the jerky? Hilariously, okay, one more. One of the other bad rations, apparently, from what I understand, that was really hated was a survival ration from, of all places, Canada during World War II. I think it was a Navy RAF survival ration that apparently when the Canadians were interviewed about the rations, most of them didn't remember anything about most of the rations except for one. That one Navy ration. And absolutely everyone hated it. And
Do I want to know why?
Apparently it just tasted god-awful at the time. Now, granted, this guy ended up eating it in the modern day, well after World War II, so the buttery crackers didn't exactly age all that well. In fact, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious. Some of his reactions to that one. That was kind of funny in my opinion, but more power to him for eating it, I guess. The chocolate was god awful, apparently.
How can you destroy chocolate?
I don't. Well, okay. So to be fair, there is one thing now that you mentioned. Emergency rations. A lot of times they, or at least sometimes they were known. Militaries were known to deliberately make the chocolate taste less appealing. One of the more famous examples of this is the D ration, which saw use by the U.S. in World War II. The D ration is just a very hard and thick chocolate bar, but they made it so that it tasted like potato starch to specifically avoid the soldiers eating it outside of an emergency. It was also so hard that the soldiers had to use their knife to cut shavings off a lot of times to eat the thing anyways.
So, a different version of hardtack.
Yeah, but for chocolate.
But seriously, ignoring everyone that might want to pig out on chocolate, why make one of the most energetic foods that you might be able to have ready taste like shit? Because if you ate a bit of chocolate before, I don't know, a run or something else, the sugar is going to help a lot. If you make it taste like shit, who is going to want to eat it?
It's basically an emergency ration when you have absolutely nothing else and you're starving. And they wanted to make sure that you'd only eat it when you're that hungry.
The military is a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oro says, sis, don't ask you.
Look, she's interested and I don't want you to tell her.
Anyways, it's actually, the video itself, okay, so there is actually some pleasantness to it, but there's also but it also gets into the bad part about hardtack as well. But it's a video from Tasting History. And it's how to make Hellfire stew. And the stew itself, from what I understand, is actually pretty good. Although it sticks to your teeth, apparently. But it does get into the bad stuff on hardtack. And anyways, Yokai says, is because they want to not eat sugars in training. Like I said, it's because it's supposed to be an emergency ration. And you don't want your soldiers to eat the emergency ration on their own unless it's an emergency. Tehedora says party pooper. Anyway, so let's go ahead and continue. Oh, me too, mostly.
Oh, please.
Oh, we're going to get a lesbian romance. You know that. This is Daniel Jose Older.
Yes, I know. Bad characters, worse romance. Nothing new. Well, let's continue. It's the old drone, of course, but he hardly counts.
Yeah.
Guys like 100 hardly a boy.
Is he just always everywhere?
Pretty much. Wait, watch this.
Scoot. Seven celestial star maps, you're mad. Crunk.
Yeah, now run.
You just did something to piss off your crewmate, and now you have to run. On a ship that you can't escape on. Awesome!
Look, I know they might not RBC, but they are close enough that doing this might make you need to sleep with both eyes open.
Yeah.
I know she's supposedly to be a kid or something, but come on. Well, Here.
Heap. Err.
This guy is giving me Largo vibes from the Adams.
I'm reminded of Lurch from the Addams Family.
Oh, yeah. It is Lurch in English. In Spanish, it was Largo.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I think he's gone.
Phew. How do you guys live like this? You gotta be on guard all the time.
The last place I was before here was with a rich family on Coruscant. All those fancy dinner parties and bars and polite people who are looking for a chill enjoyable so they can slide a blade through.
Whoa.
Oh, I see it. There is not a thing in this galaxy that could make me feel more stressed out and more than living in that careful manicured hellhole.
Oh no, how dare I live among the rich who will insult you maybe? Or I'm going to assume that this is a proverbial blade and not a literal one, but...
Coruscant, at least the nice parts, usually don't have the literal backstabbing. I
Yeah.
mean, there are always families like that, but more often than not, they just screw you over.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, after knowing this much of this character, she sounds just like a brat.
Yeah, she does.
Anyway, here we are. Take this sleeping pouch and find a spot.
What's this place?
For the moment, let's call it home.
Alright. The Venom Scabbard. Coming up on Jeddah, everybody. Are you on voice this character?
Yeah. All right. Get up. I'll alert Wrath on what is going on. What? Our enemies are trying to start a war in the Holy City. And we don't know if Mass is okay. We might need help.
Not from the law, Alak. We're pirates. You want to voice that character too?
Yeah. Give me a sec. We're trying to stop a war, not start one.
Actually, we might need that backup after all. Also, wouldn't getting the authorities involved be a good way to try to prevent a war as well? That way they know, hey, the shenanigans that are about to go down are because of a bunch of pirates and not because of whatever we think is going to actually be going on.
Yeah, in fact, being pirates and calling the police, or whoever in this case, is the best move you can do. You can lie and say that you are going to start some shit, just to flex. And I am sure someone is going to believe you and send someone. Mm-hmm. Better than nothing.
Yep. We're already too late. To be continued. So the war's kicked off anyways, and it's not even made clear whether or not this happened after if the other group has already landed or not.
Yeah, are they trying to connect this with the other comic? Or is this another one in this holy place?
I think they are trying to connect the comics, but we will see. But
I mean, we know the writer. We know what he thinks. He might just want to say, there is one war every Sunday in this place. Jerusalem.
Yeah, they could go that route. So we got the next issue here.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, the solar sails you were mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill people.
Yeah. So that is the end of that comic. Thank God. All right, thoughts on that, Uros?
You don't want to know them. But if you do want, this was crap.
The more we read it, the worse it got.
I know we didn't have too much of these people in previous comics because we mostly focused on the quote unquote good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Geonosian was not exactly the brightest person. We also had the Mad Monkey, because I am not going to call him anything else. But the kid at least looked like she was normal, more or less.
Mm.
And they just destroyed the only character that I said, maybe this one is well written. I don't know why I just expected something good.
I honestly wasn't expecting anything good, but my expectations were low already, but holy shit.
I know, but man, it's just, I know how bad this guy is. But I am a writer. I want to think that he might try at some point to do something good.
Maybe that's what he'll do for free in the free comic book.
If he does good for free, there is something wrong here.
I don't see him doing good for that, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, but to definitely answer your question, the everyone was doing things for no reason. There is no plot. There is no cohesion. There is things happen, and you have to believe they will happen. When anyone with half a brain will have killed this kid.
Yes, I know.
I mean, let's say you are the bad guy. What have you done?
I would have went either if she had said release Maz or I blow you out of the sky. I would have just went, okay, you know what? You've got the firepower. As shittily drawn as the starship was, and the gun's not even aligned properly, but but if my plan was to start a war anyways, I would probably not want that much heat on me anyways. So yeah, I would probably. But when she then said, I want to join you, my response would have been that, oh, great, you're all alone. Let's gang up on her. These are all Force users, after all, remember.
Yeah, I know that Adventures is supposed to go for younger readers and all that, but I am pretty sure that most kids are going to read this and say, these people are idiots.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid and saw some of the god-awful movies I've seen in the past, some of these so bad they're good films. Like, you remember that one film I showed you, I think it was Dark Universe?
Yes.
Remember how I said I watched that film as a kid and some of the lines were so god-awful that they actually stuck with me decades later because I remembered how god-awful they were? Like the...
Yes, I do.
Like the, hold on, I think someone's at the door.
And that is one that I am not going to forget ever to. Thanks.
I was a little kid when I watched that film. Probably shouldn't have watched that film, admittedly. But I didn't know what the hell was going to be in it.
Well, it was still more interesting than this. And well written, too.
I think my dad ended up walking in at one point in the movie, and it was the point where that one fat dude was getting killed by the monster, and he says, Ace, this movie you got sucks.
By the way, for those that haven't watched the movie, yes, it sucks.
We learned that while rocket fuel cannot melt spaceships, swamp gas can.
Oh, come on, don't bring that up. Oh, fucking piece of shit movie.
Also, don't forget to only load 3 bullets into your pistol. I can hold 15.
Ace, I want my hour and a half back. Oh, God.
That's not the only movie I actually remembered as a kid having seen. There's another movie, or 2 movies actually, I saw on TV that were god-awful as well, and I have sought both of them out because of how bad they were. The first is Night of the Lepus. Are you familiar with that one?
I know that name, but I don't think I have seen it.
It's a monster film from the early 1970s. It is a film about, I kid you not, giant killer bunny rabbits. And it was tried to be made as a serious horror film as well. These rabbits were supposed to be scary.
What kind of drugs were they on?
It was the 70s, so pick your choice.
Yes, I realize when I asked.
And also, the other one I remembered growing up was, of course, Troll 2. The film that gave us, oh my god. I actually saw that, when I saw that as a kid, even as a little kid, I went, wow, that is the worst oh my god I have ever heard.
The guy wasn't even trying. I mean, it fits the rest of the movie with how bad it was, but come on.
The popcorn romance scene, though, is still the funniest part.
You say fun, I say painful.
Funniest.
Yes.
It's funniest. Let's be honest, it caused endless laughter.
Well, yeah, at least that is true. Yeah.
All right. Adam Wolford says, I am now and Fernin. I will refer to this Disney Star Wars hate fiction. Fan fiction is from a place of love, and this is from stupid people. Yes, it is. Well, I think we are in a good place to go ahead and get ready to call it. Well, actually, wait, there is one more thing. Urus, how would you rate this as opposed to the original High Republic Adventure series? Is this better or worse than that?
It is still better.
Slightly, but yeah. It's still better for now. We're only about halfway through.
Well, let me say it like this. I told you that I messed with my back not too long ago. There was still some pain. Now the pain is replaced by rage. So at least this comic has a positive. Okay?
This comic is so bad that Urus was able to harness his rage into force healing. A light side power.
More or less, yeah. But okay, let's be serious. This was not the worst comic of adventures, but
That's not saying very much.
it is one of those that you are not going to lose anything if you miss it.
Correct.
We already suffered enough reading it for you.
Yeah, I think we're in a good position to go ahead and call it now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So this has been Ace,
And this has been Uras.
and we both hope to see you all again soon. Till then, take care. Ace out.